Hey yo, what's up, guys? Purple Friendly Pit, but you can call me Chase or Sean. I don't care anymore. And we are back with Katawa Shoujo Part 5. I'm gonna say this is Part 5. Last time we met the fifth to final love interest, right? The fifth, wait, two, three, four, five. Yep, the fifth love interest, possible love interest. And we want to date with Shizu and Misha. This episode we are going to, I don't know. See, it's not like Pokemon. See, with Pokemon, like, I can essentially say, oh, this is what we're going to do this episode. Like, are we going to train our Pokemon, or train our Pokemon, get to the gym, fight the gym, etc., etc. I don't remember the game like that. I mean, we are still not at the part where I left off, but I still don't remember the game like that. Maybe we might meet the last love interest this episode, but I don't know. I can't remember. Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, if you guys are like big Katawa Shoujo fans and you're like wondering, oh, what route are you going in this series? We're going down the Shizu route first. Maybe I might do the other ones after. Depends on like if I feel like this game has a lot of replayability. And yeah, but let's continue. We're about to talk to Shizu, I guess. Dots. Oh, the reason I'm not doing face cam is that for some reason, like, my audio and my face cam is not matching up, so I'm just not gonna use it. And it's gonna bring me back to not having face cam all the time. And also, it just feels nice to just be able to just lean back, put my feet up, just read. Dots. Oh, hi, Shizu. Oh, that scared the fuck out of me. Where's the sounding? A pair of hands from behind my eyes, followed by a sharp burst of laughter. Hi, Hichan! Guess who? Misha asked the question completely without sarcasm, meaning she doesn't think that I instantly knew it was her for many obvious reasons. I wonder who it could be. Well, it's definitely not Misha. It is! There you go. There's our jams. Hey, yo, my name is Haisao. Where's my eyebrows? I'm a man whose name is not Dan. I hate everything except everything. Yeah. I get an erection from One Direction. Yeah. You's a bitch. You like to suck off the motherfucking lich. Hey, yeah. That's Cartoon Network for you. Finn and Jake, where's the hate for? Steven Universe. Ayy, I really like Cat in the Hat. I really hate fucking bats. TMT, where is the rat? Ayy, grip your feet on the mat. Matt Pat. Ayy, Matt Pat is trash. Take out the trash. He has a rash on his cash. Hey! I don't know what that was. Thank you. That was my new hot single coming out soon. Misha swings around to stand in front of me beside Shizu. Dots. Hey, Chan, are you busy right now? Busy going to my room, yeah. See you two tomorrow. I try to make a break for it, but Shizu is too agile to get past. As someone who used to play soccer, this is embarrassing. Not to mention that this behavior is drawing some odd looks. I should just quit while I'm ahead. Dots. Hey, John, could you please go upstairs and get a few things for us from the art room? Why me? She just thinks that if the art teacher sees us, he'll say hi and she doesn't like him. Ignore him. She tried, but even though Shi-chan is deaf, he'll just try to say hi anyway. Run away? I never run. A tone of finality so strong that I could pick it up even through Misha. I can see there is no use pursuing this further with Shizu. Misha, why can't you get them? Tears make me dizzy, Hichan. Shizu nods as if to confirm. Please, Hichan, we need these things to build dolls for the festival. They say we'll help out a little, right? Right? I really shouldn't. But I guess just this once will be alright. Okay. So yes, we are about to meet the last love interest. Oh wait, spoiler alert. I'm sorry. That's great, Hishan. Thank you. I remember. This is what we need. She holds out a piece of paper for me to take. I'm sure this list was made by Shizune. It's handwritten, but each letter is perfectly formed and uniform, as if it were typed. Not just that, but it's exhaustively detailed, complete with numbers, bullet points, and even little check boxes. What it boils down to is that she wants paintbrushes, poster board, and an easel. Just different types of specific numbers of each. I wonder how I'm going to carry all this stuff down the stairs without breaking my neck. The classroom closest to ours are designated belonging to class 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side and 3-4 on the left side. Each door look exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I don't think were used for classes. I guess the art room was not a classroom as much. I carefully open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye, and I stop mid-sentence. Hey, my girl. I almost said her name. I'm trying to stop spoiling. I'm sorry, guys. But I think I accidentally hit the microphone. I'm sorry for that, too. I sit on the desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today, as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctured only by the wild clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. I don't know what to do for her. Hello. I don't know, guys. I'm just gonna do Lily's voice again. You guys touched the fork full in her mouth and is now staring at me and expectantly on chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here for some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be anyone here. There isn't. That's why I come here too. I don't know what to do. Hello, mate. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do for the voice. I should just do that. I don't know what to do for the voice. Should I do that for the voice? Let's try it. Picks up another mouthful. Does that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as she was expecting my observation was false. You are pretty observant. I guess it does, but who are you? I don't know. Guys, don't make fun of me. The girl's pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Hi, Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm RIN. TEZUKA RIN. RIN TEZUKA. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Goddamn. I love RIN. I honestly do love RIN. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joke about these matters don't feel appropriate at all. Bitch, you're not Mr. Arms. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is. She seems to have lost interest in me, so now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are in the back. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, guys. Oh my god. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already up for the day. What word would you use then? There's no use for a meal after you eat lunch, but before dinner, right? It bothers me too much, but I don't know what to say. I don't know. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on a voice for RIN. I'm sorry. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry. now, and my delicious Buck's lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. Is that Emmy's voice? I think that's Emmy's voice. My name is Rin. Maybe I should do like a high-pitched calm voice. So like, my name is Lily. My name is Emmy. La la la, Misha. What was Hanukkah? I'm Hanukkah. I think that was hers. So Rin should be like, I'm Rin. No, that's still Misha's though. Misha's it's just all the high pitchedness. Rin. That was yawn. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I'm really thinking hard about like what Rin should be. I'm Rin. Oh, maybe put like a little rasp in it. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. Okay, that's not a thing. So, Nagai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, it's cool. From outside, you look fine. Is your problem inside? I'm going to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. Man, I love Rin. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question. I'll skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. Ugh, it's my eye. I'm sorry. Froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition. Or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making an issue of this is part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Maybe, probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shinzo's circumstances, or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head. It's something in your guts would be worryingly ordinary. Like this lunch of mine. Unless delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catching me completely off guard. I think I might reel back even physically as Ren's eyes wide in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I still said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Show me the past would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. I collect people and a person with I collect people and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. So you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. Dots. With little left to say, Ren resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what she said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it at all, like every other student here so far. Should I have put it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hasao, and I have a very serious heart condition. The how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. Do you guys agree with me? Is he not Oh no. Whoops. My bad, guys. I was like, who is calling me? That was that alarm I set. But am I the weird one here? Why is he thinking so hard about every single freaking thing in existence? My God. Maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walk through the back of the room and pick up some items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Ren from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty, except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. I don't know. I feel like Ren's face is pretty pretty. It's pretty pretty. I'm trying to think. Honestly, all the girls are pretty attractive. Let me think. Like even Hanukkah. I don't mean that in a rude way. But no, Hanukkah's pretty. The least pretty. I don't know. Sometimes Shizu's face be looking kind of weird. But I think that's more like an art thing. Cause like overall, I think she's pretty. Yeah, they're all like pretty. pretty. All the girls scrawny. I don't know. I can tell all their body types look the same to me. Not gonna lie. Well, no, I guess Emmy is pretty like petite looking overall. But she's actually now I think about it, Misha's pretty. It's more like thick. She's a thick girl, and then like Shizune is more on the skinnier side. I don't know. I'm thinking too hard about it. I don't know. I don't know for that. She moves her feet almost as definitely as a normal person will use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. Makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word natural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabin and the shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the sounds grow too uncomfortable. So I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors? Maybe you're my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. That's all I could think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Ren forks the last bits of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list, because I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was just about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you'd like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Ren looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Ren. I feel like our relationship at this point is good enough to warrant that much. I was already trying to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Haisao. There you are. Ren looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times. I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Haisao. There's something like a tiny smile from her, there in her face, maybe. Quietly back out of the room, as I shut the door in front of my face, I whispered to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. What the fuck, Misha? What did she hear? I jumped at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gotten to jump a distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. She just standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, and Misha is visibly excited. Oh wait, more importantly, who's in there? There's no club meeting today. She tried to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? It took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, He-chan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you're a tardy. Oh, sorry. I got the things here. We're just going to bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, He-chan. Who's in there with you, I wonder? We just said something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Ren, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sound furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very low to stare at me too, as if I was somehow my fault that Ren is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello. Ren's voice comes from the other side of the door and takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. Open the door to find Ren directly behind it, looking at us with half interested, half sleepy face. Gosh, I'm sorry. Hello. Dots. But TEZUKA, what do you think you're doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I don't know why. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune and Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Ren, and makes some quick signs. Dots. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Sorry, I'm repositioning the microphone. And myself. Anyway, how's your project going? Yep. Ren looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. Yep. I keep wondering about that myself too. And? Well, think about it harder. As Misha decides to reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Dots. Miss TEZUKA, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch on it. Ren nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Ren frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There would be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to an unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. So you have nothing to do. Would you give me a hand? I thought we were done with Rin. I keep on forgetting. Oh man. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a little tiny baby little break. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna finish this episode tonight. Trust me. My butt hurts. I'll be right back. I love you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Yo, you got. If you guys saw the webcam, you could totally tell it's been a few hours. About a few hours, I mean it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay. If you guys are wondering, like the first part of this, I recorded at like 9 o'clock at night, I want to say. 8 or 9, and now it's 5 in the morning. Okay. It was a very long break. The seat hurts. What was her voice? This paint can't fit into my bag, but I need, wait. What was her voice? I'm sorry guys, I already forgot her voice. She kissed slightly at a huge can of paint. I feel like there's another burp. It's the same problem now. It's like a burp just resting. Excuse me, I got it. I forced it out. She kicked slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally picked it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need it? Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway. Me and the paint can follow since there's no choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now, with Shizune and Misha gone. So you have to leave towards the stairwell at the other end. So we two leave. Yep. Every turn of 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Ren strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. The 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. No, he's not getting a voice. His name doesn't even have a color. Mr. Nakai. What a happy coincidence. TEZUKA too, of course. He nods courteously to Ren, who just now acknowledged him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he has some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod away impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. This is about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I want from you is to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headaches, anything. Come see me if anything happens. Alright. So, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. Oh my fucking god. Get to the point, bro. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's what I'm feeling from it. This is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. So, like, do they just awkwardly stand there as he just overthinks about everything? It just waits for his answer? The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. Tell us what he says. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool. So I'd like to know if you haven't taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring things gave me the feeling that I should have been running my eyes off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such, I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here. Don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. TEZUKA, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Ren's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. Come on now. Chill out. Chill the fuck out. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Yes. I said maybe last time. I was being an asshole. Yeah, I promise, definitely. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. You're welcome. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Ren, who has been waiting idly, leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures of the ceiling. In the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too. Talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Ren's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Ren is just staring past my shoulder quizzically. Her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I'm sorry, I accidentally pressed base again. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Ren keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Ren leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at this small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. I think we're getting close, kinda, sorta. The dorm is built on slightly elevated ground with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design of the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas where there are a lot of people with hands. Reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arms, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. That'd be cute. I just imagine that. That's cute. Like the little, the little sleeves just like dangling. That's great. Sorry. The white corner of her sleeve flips around and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. The girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure out. And then figure out that, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would all hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. Oh man, why do I feel like I remember this being another scene? I don't remember this all being one freaking scene, but I guess it is. Sorry, hold on 1 second. I think it's best to start from the top. Did I read the last line? I can't remember. So this is your project. You did this. Yes. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. Feels like I'm way more sensitive than Ren is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is. Maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I want to see what it would look like in a dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, flat. Like some people are. No substance. No meat where there should be some. I know a few girls, okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. So I don't really have anything to say. Yeah, I caught that little quick thing. RIN struggles. I feel like they should make those. I mean, this game's been out for was it probably maybe over a decade? Is it? Has it been over a decade? I can't remember. I want to say it came out like 2011, 2012, but I can't remember. But overall, I think if I were to make a critique, first of all, the guy thinks too much. But besides that, because I do think the writing's really good. Besides that, I feel like those little fast moments would work better if they weren't so fast. Even if, I mean, like, Okay, maybe I will be able to catch it if I was just silently reading, but me reading it out loud, I like look at the first 2-3 words before I read, which it never seems like that. I try to look at the very least like the first two, and by the time I see the first two, I'm about to say something, they already switch over, so I don't even really catch what they say sometimes. Red shrugs his shoulders at that, saying, "Suit yourself," without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. "I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little bit before it's too dark. I want you to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track. There aren't any." Renshaw is quick to recruit my help. That's what she's in. It really makes me feel like the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I could be of any help though. It's just mixing some paint. You could do that, probably. You have motor control problems, like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, perhaps? Not that I know of. I get it. Our thing has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on the empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide paintbrush between the toes of her bare right foot. Open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. While the thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny hypnotic looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to make a new monotone hue. Ren sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision done to the last milliliter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. And half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. Ren is cute. How dare you, Haisao, say that Ren is not cute? I don't know. I don't know who to go for next after she's in. If I do play this some more. Honestly, playing this again, because you know you spend so much time with Shizun and Misha. I love them the first time. I still do love them this time. But just like now, I spent extra amount of time with them to the point it's like, man, I kind of want to hang out with another girl now. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth. Do you like an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. What? Maybe it's yellow. What the fuck are you talking about? Despite the impossibility of mixing color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's been imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. What the fuck are you talking about? Seeing a painting being born on the plaster white wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down the pavement and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Ren doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from a few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. Even those short discussions soon evolve into shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues, as if there was some need to conserve words in breath and sound. Oh, she added more. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Do I already have a thumbnail for this video? There you go. Next day. Did I already do? Wait, I forgot. The summer of an alarm puts me out of a fitful slumber into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. Yep. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause. I feel like I'm reading it wrong. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away with that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, and I didn't get issue with the gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape along with what little I could do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I could go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. Yo guys, we're getting close to where I left off. We're 41 minutes in. You know what? I'm into here. So then, like, the next episode would just be a little bit of stuff I've seen, and then everything else will be new. Because I'm pretty sure, like, this next part is where I left off. So, if you guys like this video, new to the channel, hit that like button and subscribe to join the Center Squad today. I'll see you guys next time. This is this is Purple and Fernie. One of these days, I'm going to get my intro and outro both right, first try. But, yeah, this is Purple and Fernie, but you can call me Chase or Sean. I don't care anymore. Signing off. Peace.